Broadcasting from the Paddock Mall Studios, this is WOCA, Ocala, Gainesville, The Villages, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, The Source.
Midday with Joe.
Time for Midday with Joe. Mr. Joe Martone, who plays the part of Giuseppe the drummer on the show Midday with Joe.
Thank you so much.
You got 2 rolls.
And a bagel.
And we have something for you. You ready? We have a flag for you from the U.S. Navy.
Thank you so much. I see the flag.
Yeah, you like
the
that?
Dummy's holding it there. Yes, that's that. A mannequin. A mannequin.
Mannequin, not a dummy.
It's fine. What are you doing? Oh, it's fine. Leave it alone. Oh, she got to touch it. It was on camera.
Yeah.
I had it on camera all morning.
Yeah.
There it is. Joe's holding up the flag.
There we go.
United States of Navy and no less and no more. That's going to go into my room.
I like it. I like the color, too.
Yeah, I like the color, too.
I'm listening to hear if your voice is in this recording, huh?
Oh, I would... no. There we go.
Did you ever become part of any musical ensemble in the Navy?
No, I just was on the radio in the Navy, remember?
I know, but I don't know if you...
No, the only claim
double duty.
The only claim to fame is I had a gigantic a mural I did, and it stood on there for I don't know how many years.
Wow.
On a wall somewhere in Camp Moffett, I think it is.
What was it?
Until they knocked the whole building down.
Oh, my gosh.
I found they left it there. I thought it was just for Easter. It was with the rock rolling away and Jesus Christ on the cross and the whole 10 yards.
Wow.
And they left that, and I know somewhere in the archives, there's a picture. Someone's coming in. There's a picture of it. There's got to be. Somebody had to take a picture of it.
Hopefully
I cannot find it. I have asked. I've looked. Matter of fact, I took a trip to Great Lakes, Illinois to see it, and they had just knocked down the building the year I went there.
Oh, no.
I think it was 1975. Yeah.
Oh, somebody has a photo of it somewhere. You got to get that photo.
Yeah, I don't. I've looked. If anybody out there can get to me that photo, yes.
Where was it exactly?
I think it was Camp Moffett, it was called, I think. And it was in the cafeteria. It's a big wall between where you used to take your trays to return them. You walk in one door on the right, and you come out on the door on the left. And in between was this big reddish wall that was all the tiles. And they gave me the paints and everything. And over a week's time, I painted the whole thing. In between, it was what they call service week. They called it, where the recruits went in and they helped the cooks.
It was in the cafeteria?
It was in the cafeteria.
Oh, my God.
So, yeah. And my job was to holler at everybody because of my voice. They said, you're going to tell the men to get up there, and you're going to tell the cooks how many more men are in line to recruits that need to be fed. And that's all I used to holler up, get up, and I used to have to drink a lot of tea because your voice goes quick. But yeah.
Tell me about this Memorial Day reason for doing this. We're going to do with Navy today. We'll try to do each one of the branches of the service.
Well, today is Thursday, tomorrow's Friday, so you don't have to hustle it there.
Wow. The actual Memorial Day doesn't happen until the end of the month, so.
Exactly.
27th.
Yeah.
Well, 27th
31st.
is what?
Well, that's observed Memorial Day. Is the 27th.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
That's all right. We just do it.
We're going to do it anyway, so it don't matter. On that there, yeah.
So let's see. I have some facts you may not know about the Navy.
I don't know a lot about the Navy.
I'm guessing you know these things.
No, there's a lot I don't know about the Navy. That's for sure.
All right. If you were on a submarine in the Navy, you volunteered. Nobody forces you to do a submarine.
This is true. I was on USS Constellation, and the captain of a submarine asked me to join the crew, and I politely declined.
Oh my!
I would think you'd be too tall for a submarine. No.
Well, apparently he wanted me down there and
bumping your head a lot.
Probably that, and I didn't like to share a bunk because you share bunks. They call it bunk sharing.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, you don't have not much room, so you got your
side by side or top and bottom.
They're usually top and bottom.
Okay, I was going to say.
But you're sleeping down here. You get after 8 hours. Then the next guy coming off his 12-hour shift, he sleeps in the same bunk.
All that sweat
thank you.
and stuff.
Okay.
Oh,
So can't they make a bigger ship? Okay.
Well, they could, I guess, yeah. But then you have more men to run in there. You had the same problem. So then, of course, the other thing was, of course, they had its own aroma.
I bet it did.
Oh, yeah. Filtration only goes so far. Mm-hmm. And then, of course, the 45 days at sea or whatever with no contact to the human race.
Oh.
Yeah.
All right. Bravo Zulu. What does that mean in the Navy?
I don't know.
Bravo Zulu means well done.
Oh.
So why didn't you say well done?
Because that might mean your hamburger.
Oh, that's true, yeah.
Through World War II, sailors who did well were told "Tear Victor George," which was code for well done.
Oh, there you go.
After the war, the North Atlantic Treaty Organization, also known as NATO, was formed, and as standardized communications, NATO created a system of B flags for administrative communication. The last B flag was BZ.
Busy.
The Allied Naval Signal Book created the phonetics for each letter, and BZ became Bravo Zulu, which means well done.
Well done.
Who knew?
Nice.
Who knew? Now we know.
Now we
Yeah.
Hey, BC. Same to you.
know. Were you ever involved in a gun salute?
No.
17 gun salute is for an admiral. A 15 gun salute is for a vice admiral. A 13 gun salute is for a rear admiral in the upper half, whatever that
In
means.
the upper half.
Don't know what that means. And 11 guns is the rear admiral in the lower half. Do you know what that means?
No.
Oh, my.
Well,
I've
I
never
know
heard
that.
of that. That
Unless
is
it's
pretty
a
cool.
continental, part of
Oh.
the world, maybe. I don't know.
Uh-huh.
I don't know.
If the anchor is fouled,
Oh.
it means the line or chain is wrapped around the shank and fluke arms
The shank and fluke arm.
of the anchor itself.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, the whole thing around the anchor.
Right.
that-
It's tangled up, in other words.
Oh, okay.
So a retired
Okay.
anchor is displayed for decorative purposes on base or Navy communities. That's why when you see the anchor, it's on that flag? Is the anchor on that flag?
Yes, right in the middle of the flag above the eagle's head.
Does it have the...
Cannot see it because the eagle's in front of it. There's no chain on it.
no chain on
Oh, okay.
Chain on it, no.
Wow.
it? I didn't know. Symbolism and everything, right?
Oh,
Exactly.
got to be.
Good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Joe, I was in Camp Moffett when I was recruited into the Navy back in 1958.
A little before my time, yes.
But anyway, the point of the matter is, I'm surprised it's still there. But
yes, it's still there.
Well, the barracks that we were in, then the mess hall was somewhere across the.
You walked under the
facility.
road? Back then, did you walk under the road or you walked across the road? You remember?
I believe we walked across the road.
Yeah, well, by the time I went there, they had made a tunnel. You walk under the road so you don't have to mess with the traffic.
Wow.
But it goes,
I
times
don't think
change.
we had. I don't know. There was. I can't remember the whole thing altogether, but
Oh, sure.
I do remember Camp Moffett, and that's when I heard you say that. It really rung a bell.
It's still in existence,
I was also
yes.
aboard the submarine as an observer during fleet exercises.
Oh, that's not
And
good.
that was off of Narragansett Bay in the North Atlantic.
Oh, there you go. Well, thank
I
you
was
so
aboard
much.
the USNS Jallow. It was an attack submarine.
Ah.
And I spent about, a day and a half aboard that. And like you said, they called it hot bunking. And you shared the
Yes.
bunk. In other words,
It never has time to cool off,
You got out,
exactly.
and that was yours to pile in.
Yeah, you piled it in there, too. Thank you, Sonny. Thank you so much.
All
Bringing
right,
back
have
memories.
a great day.
You too.
Thanks for the memories.
Oh, yes. Yeah, as he said, Camp Moffett is still there. Matter of fact, every once in a while, I get a feed from the Navy. I don't know how I got it, but it comes across, and you see the ceremonies of the graduating classes. And I just seen one last week. And with the graduating classes, you actually and then they showed Camp Moffett. They actually showed it. I was like, yes, you're on the air with us here.
My name's Joe, and I was just listening to the program, and the difference between the lower half and upper half of rear admirals. During peacetime, the Navy does not have a Commodore, which would be a 1-star. So they go from captain to rear admiral, which is 2 stars. But when they're first promoted, they're called the lower half, and then they become the upper half.
Oh, wow. I'm getting educated here. Thank you, Joe.
Okay, you're welcome. Always enjoy your program. Thank you.
Thanks for listening.
So,
our listeners are educated.
They are. I'm telling you, this is better than Google.
And I'm here drinking Starbucks coffee from the mall, and they're educating me. All right, go ahead.
Did you ever get a tattoo? No?
No, not even tempted.
I never knew.
My uncle had one on his arm, big.
What was that of? What was the picture of? Do you remember?
No, I do not.
Because there's a whole list of what the symbolization is for a Navy person in a tattoo. I won't read the whole thing.
Yeah, we'll be here till tomorrow.
But for example, if they had a gold dragon tattooed, that means they crossed the international date line.
Oh, okay, yeah.
If they had hula girls tattooed on them,
they've been to Hawaii.
They went to Hawaii. That's exactly right. Yeah. That's kind of cool, isn't it?
I've seen a lot of tattoos. He had a big one on his arm. I don't even remember what branch of service he was in. I want to say Army because he was during World War II. He was in there.
If you have a compass or a nautical star, it means you never lost your way over 10,000 miles of sea.
Oh, okay.
Did you ever lose your way?
No, I wasn't the captain or the navigator. I just went for the ride. Yeah. I know exactly where I was. I was on the aircraft carrier. Yeah. So.
Let's see. If you want to write your lowercase letters correctly, this wasn't originally a grammar warning. Instead, according to the U.S. Fleet Forces Command, it was a way of keeping bar bookkeepers and their seafaring patrons honest in waterfront taverns by minding their P's and Q's.
Oh, isn't that cute?
Pints and quarts. Okay, got it.
Pints and quarts. Okay. Would you like a pint or would you like a quart? Yes.
Let's see. For many, a short timer.
Short timer. That means your stint with the Navy is just about up. Your commitment is over. You're going home.
Crossing under the Coronado Bridge.
Coronado Bridge
marks a moment of reflection. Thank you, Fred. Hey, look at that puppy dog.
Coronado, that's not a puppy anymore. But it used to be a puppy. It's just a small dog, yeah. Coronado Bridge. That's California, isn't it? Coronado Bridge?
I don't know.
I think it's California.
I don't know.
We went under the Golden Gate Bridge. That gives you an idea how high and big that Golden Gate Bridge was. An aircraft carrier can go under it.
That is amazing. That is phenomenal.
It is something to see. An aircraft, basically, it's a floating city. So if you want to see a city that floats, go see a big aircraft carrier. Now, there's a small aircraft carrier in Charleston, South Carolina. There, you can go on and it gives you a taste. It's an aircraft carrier, but I can't remember the name. I want to say Yorktown, but I'm not sure. But it gives you a taste of what an aircraft carrier is. Then they have a submarine there, and there's a gigantic yacht or something there that you can go on. But I always say, if you're going to go visit it in the morning, go into the submarine first before it gets too hot, and then otherwise you'll be into a tin can that's like a sardine.
Oh, okay.
Did you have camouflage uniforms?
No,
you didn't have any. Okay. What would they have been called? Digis?
Oh, that's a good question. I don't know.
I'm trying to remember from McHale's Navy.
Oh, yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Well, what were your uniforms called? Did they have a name like dress blues or something like that?
Yeah, we had dress blues. Yeah, we had our dress blues. They had our work uniform. And you know what? We've got a minute to go already. Isn't that amazing?
Wow.
Hey, everybody, thank you for visiting with us here and me with Midday with Joe and Robin and Larry all morning from 7 in the morning until noon every day with AM Ocala Live. We do appreciate you. We kid around a lot and everything, but we really do appreciate you from the heart that you listen to us because we're here to inform you, we're here to entertain you, and let you know what the heck's going on in Marion County. Not just all over the world and not all politics in one subject. We hit you all kinds of subjects all around, so it's never boring and never one subject for the whole 5 hours. If you get my drift, hint, hint, hint. So listen to these two and have some fun during the day. Be good and be safe and be happy. Remember, this is WOCA Ocala broadcasting from the Paddock Mall.
Midday with Joe.
Fox News. I'm Chris Foster. The man known as the American Taliban, John Walker Lind, is now free after serving 17 years of a 20-year sentence in prison in Indiana for fighting with the Taliban in Afghanistan. CIA operative Mike Spann was killed during an uprising of prisoners held with Lind in 2001. Secretary of State and former CIA Director Mike Pompeo tells Fox his release is
unexplainable and unconscionable. Johnny Michael Spann was one of ours. We're now allowing someone who was involved in his death out of jail.
Lind is 38 years old now. His release comes with conditions, including monitoring software on any internet devices. There's severe tornado damage in Jefferson City, Missouri. Mayor Carrie Turgeon tells Fox there are roofs off homes and
extensive damage to the businesses that were within this path, and it was a fairly large path that almost crossed from one end of our city to the other. So quite a bit of damage.
But no deaths reported. At least 3 people were killed in the Golden City, Missouri area. This is Fox News.
You can always count on Miller High Life, the champagne of beers. Always crisp, always easy drinking, always just right. The perfect balance of flavor and refreshment since 1903. Welcome to the High Life. 2019 Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Celebrate responsibly.
Discover's going further with miles rewards than we've ever gone before. Like sun on your face, book in your hand, kids playing in the sand further. Because the Discover It Miles card offers unlimited 1.5 miles on every purchase and will automatically match all the miles you earn at the end of your first year. So your 35,000 miles could become 70,000, plus no blackout dates. Just buy your ticket and use your miles to credit your statement. Get out there with your Discover It Miles card today. Limitations apply. Discover match for new card members only. Learn more at discover.com/travel.
Here is your 1-minute news brief. Florida's governor is ordering election officials review the cybersecurity of the state's election systems. The request comes more than a week after he was briefed that Russia hackers gained access to voter databases in 2 Florida counties. A baby girl just 5 months old died yesterday after being left in a daycare van in Florida, according to the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office. Serial killer Bobby Joe Long is scheduled to be executed today at Florida State Prison in Stark. Long was found guilty of killing 10 women in the Tampa Bay area in 1984. Emma, a healthy Shih Tzu mix, was euthanized to fulfill her late owner's dying wish that the dog be put down and then laid to rest with her. A man accused of running naked through Daytona International Airport, claiming a bomb was about to go off, entered a plea of no contest. A pilot flying from Canada to Orlando had his eyes burned by a green laser light, and mermaids are returning to Sea Life Orlando Aquarium later this month. And that is your news brief from The Source.
Sunshine Thursday and a few clouds at times with a high at 84 at the coast and 92 inland. Then clear Thursday night with a low in the mid to upper 60s inland, 72 along the coast. Friday, plenty of sunshine with a high of 83 at the coast but 94 inland. For Saturday, plenty of sunshine and hot. The high 86 at the coast, 97 inland. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Joe Lundberg.
I'm Jennifer, the Executive Director of Palm Garden, and May is a big month in our industry. Today, I brought Annette Lotz with me, the Director of Clinical Services.
I'm happy to be here, Jennifer, and in May, we get to celebrate our wonderful nursing staff. They are truly ladies and gentlemen, serving ladies and gentlemen.
Yes, they are, Annette, and we are always looking for more excellent, caring nurses to join our Palm Garden family.
We sure are, but in the meantime,
Happy Nurses Week from Palm Garden.
Hi, this is JP from Penn Flooring here in Ocala. I would like to invite you to come in and visit our spacious showroom where we have solutions for every style and budget. From wall-to-wall carpet to hardwood floors and tiles, we have an unsurpassed selection of flooring. At Penn Flooring, we've provided quality customer service with a family touch for over 25 years. Visit our website at pennflooring.com or come by our showroom, 1201 Southwest 17th Street, just over the bridge. Penn Flooring, quality customer service with a family touch.
PPIR is a networking group formed to serve the realtor and small business community. It primarily serves the real estate and construction industry, but is open to all businesses that provide any service or product to the real estate business community. PPIR has no membership dues or fees for attendees. The watchwords are keep it simple and maximize networking time. PPIR chapters meet 3 times monthly at different locations after normal business hours. For information on this, call 352-615-9412 or go to events at ppirevents.com. PPIR, professional people in real estate.
Hello, I'm Mark Sears with Regency Printing. With over 10 years in the printing business, I know you'll find Regency Printing the place for all your local printing needs. Plus, I have fax services, mailbox rentals, notary service, U.S. mail, pack and ship, all at one convenient location, 2375 Northeast 25th Avenue. Just look for the yellow signs. Regency Printing, 789-6683. That's 789-6683. Regency Printing.
Are you a medical provider that doesn't like to settle for the same boring scrubs? Scrub Paradise in Ocala has a wide selection of top brand scrubs with embroidery available and the newest medical shoes and accessories. Every medical provider should look as great as the care they provide. Scrub Paradise is just off Easy Street next to Shoe Carnival in Ocala. Stop by today or give them a call at 352-873-4368. That's 352-873-4368.
Of entertainment and enlightenment. This is the Glenn Beck Program.
With Pat and Stu, all this week for Glenn. 888-727-BECK. We got some fascinating guidelines from NPR. We'll talk about that later on today, but also Ilhan Omar and AOC have some brilliant things to share with us. We'll get to that and much more coming up in about 60 seconds.
This is the Glenn Beck Program.
I love getting mail from listeners who respond to our advertisements, and I've been telling you about Blinds.com for a long time. And I got this letter in from Tommy. He lives in Clearmont, Florida. And he said, Glenn, our blinds were perfect. We saved a ton of money. I feel like they're higher quality than the box store product. Our windows look brand new with our Blinds.com order. I have several other window blinds that really need replacing, and I will definitely be using Blinds.com. Thank you so much for letting us know about this, and thank you, Blinds.com, for employing such great people who meet and exceed the customer's expectations. That says everything. Take advantage of Blinds.com's Memorial Day mega sale. Now you can enjoy their lowest prices of the year. You'll save up to 50% on everything. Plus, Beck listeners will save an extra $20 on top of that with promo code BECK. That's Blinds.com to save 50% site-wide. Plus, save an extra $20 with promo code BECK.
It's Pat and Stu for Glenn. By the way, you can hear my show, Pat Gray Unleashed, weekday mornings right before Glenn and Stu.
I love that show.
It's incredible.
I listen every day at work, and I love his mix of the 70s, 80s, 90s, and today.
Do you like the all request lunch hour?
I hate the all request lunch hour.
You don't like that?
Yeah, because it's these people who call up and they request songs that are in the 60s or tomorrow, and I want 70s, 80s, 90s. 2000s and today.
And for your convenience, we do have traffic and weather together every 10 minutes on the fours.
That's good to hear.
Yeah.
That's good to hear.
So that's great. All right. American Taliban was just released. So that's exciting news because I'm pretty sure he's totally reformed. Totally reformed.
Are you?
Yeah, well, no.
There
seems to be a little doubt.
Yeah.
There seems to be a little teeny bit. Now, they're releasing him early, so really, you have to release him after 20 years because that's what he was sentenced to, right? And no matter how he feels after those 20 years, you still have to let him go.
Yeah, I guess that's true. You don't really have to be reformed. If you go through your entire sentence, right? I mean, if you're...
We all like to think you would be or are.
It's kind of the point of it, right? But I guess if you come out, can they keep you in prison if you get sentenced to 20 years... and you say, you know what, I still pretty much like terrorism. I guess I won't do it, maybe, but I'm still advocating for it. And then it comes to the end of their term. Can they just, I guess they just have to let you out?
I think so.
Because it does not seem like he's reformed. I mean,
it's only 17 years, so they could keep him in there 3 years longer.
Which it feels like there are certain crimes, Pat, in which you just don't get out of prison, okay? And it's a small subset for me. I'll give you an example. John Hinckley. You go and you shoot the president of the United States over Jodie Foster. I'm never letting you out of prison.
Well,
and he's
you're
like
pretty
he's like
picky.
visiting his parents on the weekends, and he's out, right? I mean, like
yeah.
That I feel like there's a line there. Yeah, another one is treason against your country. If you're going and you're fighting for an opposing force in a war, I don't know, 20 years doesn't seem appropriate to me. And the fact that he's only served 17 is kind of a big deal. And then going past that, it doesn't seem like he's reformed at all. And you get these stories every once in a while, and we've had people on the show in past years who used to be terrorists and seemingly had reformed and were now speaking out against terrorism. Like that, there's a few people who have actually been on the show that have kind of meet that profile. Mm-hmm. But that's not what John Walker Lind is doing here.
No.
I mean, it appears as if he's still kind of excited about the whole terrorist thing.
What was it he said in 2015 about ISIS?
2015, he said that ISIS was doing a, quote, spectacular job after it beheaded a U.S. journalist. Now,
okay.
I will say, if the job description was, please, when hired, you will need to behead a U.S. journalist, technically, I guess they were doing a spectacular job.
They got that job done.
Though that's not how I would describe it.
No.
I feel like maybe you have a little bit more hesitation in your praise.
So you might think, okay, well, that was 2015. In May of 2016, Lind continued to advocate for global jihad and to write and translate violent extremist texts. He also told a TV news producer he will continue to spread violent extremism and violent extremist Islam upon his release. That doesn't seem good to me. Why are we letting this guy go early? That's bizarre.
I just don't understand it. I mean, it's one of those things that, like, this is a difficult thing to figure out how to deal with a terrorist in these situations. Like we're talking about the ISIS wives, right? These women, they go over, they get married off into ISIS. God only knows what happens to them for multiple years. Then they all feel kind of bad about it. They're like, hey, like I was young, I needed the money. I
just thought it would be fun.
Yeah, I thought it would be fun. And like some of them, like they're like, well, I was shocked to see in person them burning these people alive in these cages because it felt so much different than when I watched the video on YouTube of them burning them alive in these cages. Right. And you're like, I can't give you that one. No. And so the conversation has been, do we bring the ISIS wives back to the United States and have them tried? And they want to come back.
Yeah, they should stand trial. For treason.
And I feel like the most shows that I've heard on the conservative sort of side or people writing about it have said, no, like these people it's a war and they're on the other side of this war and they should be treated like anybody else who's on the other side of the war, which I think is a legitimate position. However, if we have a law about treason, it's a big deal, right? I mean, this is a constitutional principle, right?
Yeah.
And like, it's hard to envision a more clear example of treason than going over and assisting ISIS in the middle of a war against us, right? Like, I mean, how do you get more clear than this? And yet we never use it. We've all decided, you know what, that part of our history, you know what, it's like Halloween 3 Season of the Witch, just not part of the series. We're just going to ignore that it happened. All the other ones are Michael Myers. There's this one where masks attack everybody's head on Halloween. And it was, maybe not the best movie in the world, but that's the only one we're just going to kind of just disregard. We're just going to say, no, that one didn't happen. That was not part of the series. And like this, treason? What? I don't even know what that is.
Yeah.
I mean, it's so
when John
clear.
Walker Lind wasn't even charged with treason.
Right. And that's the problem. If you had turned him with treason, he would not be out of prison right now. This is the type of thing that is they call for potentially execution for this. This is a death penalty situation and should be treated as such. If you are going to go, and remember, it's not just that he went and fought with the Taliban. He also was involved in the death of the first American serviceman in the Afghanistan war. A guy, Mike Spann, who was a CIA member who was killed in a prison riot, and that prison riot was involving this guy who's about to walk free. I mean, how is that?
It's pretty serious.
It's certainly not justice.
Yeah.
But it's amazing because of his frequently reported comments that he has not reformed, that he wants to continue to do these things. And they're like, there's a very, very strict release policy, Pat. Very, very strict. I don't know if you've heard this, but he, first of all, is going to be monitored by parole officers. Now, that's number one.
Whoa.
And I want you to think about how serious that is.
Okay.
He's going to be monitored by parole officers. And number two, yes, he can go on the internet. Yes, he can communicate with whoever he wants to, but only in English. Yeah, this guy, I think, speaks Arabic or whatever. What is it?
So he can only...
He can't speak that online.
He can only do extreme Islam jihad in English.
Yes, he has to do it in English. Now, if they said he had to do it in haiku, I might say, okay, that's pretty difficult because he's going to have to continually write haikus. But no, this is it's legitimately part of his release.
Bizarre.
He can't speak any other languages. Has to only speak English. Now, I mean, I guess that's a limitation because we're too lazy to translate what he's typing. And the fact that he's able to actually communicate with other people. I mean, he's on the internet. Why is he on the internet at all? Again, when he went to prison, the internet barely worked. Okay, he's got to get out of here. Imagine, I mean, now he can go anywhere he wants. He gets the nice 4G or soon 5G access. Got Wi-Fi everywhere. He's almost in dial-up days when he got in prison.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It just seems like a completely crazy idea to let him out.
Especially since he hasn't reformed at all, and it's pretty clear by his statements. Although he did make an interesting statement to the parole board. He made a 14-minute speech that included, had I realized then what I know now about the Taliban, I would never have joined them. I never understood jihad to mean anti-Americanism or terrorism. But then, okay, so that's what he said to get out of jail early. And then you look at everything else he has said leading up to that, it just looks like he feels the same way he did when he went into prison. And we didn't do what we should have done at the time, charging him with treason. And now we're making it even worse by allowing him to get out early. There doesn't seem to be any reason for it. Why would you let this guy go after 17 years? Charged as he is with pretty serious offenses like conspiracy to kill U.S. nationals. That seems like a fairly significant crime.
Yeah, I think that's a big one.
Yeah. So,
in Foreign Policy magazine reported in 2017 that an investigation by the National Counterterrorism Center found that Lind, quote, continued to advocate for global jihad and to write and translate violent extremist texts. But the answer, though, is pretty good. They said for 3 years he's going to be watched like a hawk.
Oh, wow.
So,
well, there you go.
Look, done. 3 years. That's wonderful because that's the time he would normally have been in prison, right? When he would have been in prison, they're going to watch him carefully, and then he's going to he's just going to be at your local Starbucks. He's going to be giving you Dunkin' Donuts as you come through, and we're supposed to be okay with that.
What are you, an Islamophobe? All of a sudden, is that what you're?
No,
you're an Islamophobe?
I am not an Islamophobe. I will say, though, if I go to Dunkin' Donuts and I order a croissant sandwich and he hands it to me and he says it in Farsi, I'm going to report him. I'm going to report him. He's only supposed to speak in English. And I will be very upset if he says something to me in Farsi.
All right. It's Pat and Stu for Glenn this week. More coming up in 60 seconds.
This is the Glenn Beck Program.
Here's something you probably don't know about erectile dysfunction. 52% of guys over 40 experience ED. And here's something you probably do know about erectile dysfunction. 0% of guys like talking about it. Fortunately, Roman is here to help. With Roman, you can go online and visit a one-stop shop where U.S. licensed physicians can diagnose ED. We'll then ship medication right from our pharmacy to your door. With Roman, you don't have to spend time in waiting rooms, deal with awkward face-to-face conversations, or make uncomfortable trips to the pharmacy. Just visit GetRoman.com, chat with a doctor, and get genuine medication delivered in discreet, unmarked packaging. And now that brand name ED meds have gone generic, it's more affordable than ever to get treatment. Start your free online visit at GetRoman.com/America. That's GetRoman.com/America. Additional terms, conditions, and eligibility requirements apply. Visit GetRoman.com for more details.
Scott and Stu for Glenn, 888-727-BECK. We've got some wisdom from Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, where she's really kind of the wellspring of all wisdom lately. She and Ilhan Omar have really shared a lot of it with the United States, and I appreciate it.
They've done a great job so far.
They have.
I'll say that. In fact, informing us climate deniers, that we have only 12 years before the end of the world.
Yeah, which she has said on multiple occasions.
Yeah, not just once.
Yeah.
Now, if you were just kind of making a random comment, if you were mistakenly summarizing some in-depth piece of evidence from the UN IPCC, you may be surprised to hear that you do that multiple times, keep continually doubling down on the same claim. Mm-hmm. She said famously, millennials and people, Gen Z and all these folks that will come after us and are looking up and we're like, the world is going to end in 12 years if we don't address climate change. And your biggest issue is how are we going to pay for it? And that sort of attitude has been repeated multiple times. She then doubled down on it when saying, for everyone who wants to make a joke about that, you may laugh, but your grandkids will not. Which is interesting because if the world is ending in 12 years, how am I having grandkids? I mean, my kids are pretty young.
Fairly young.
So it would be difficult for that to happen. But maybe, I guess, if you're saying someone who already has grandkids or whatever, maybe they could, in the 12-year period would happen. Ocasio-Cortez later flipped her position in early May, referring to the 12-year deadline as merely dry humor and sarcasm. Now, it's interesting because you could say Ocasio-Cortez.
That was not humor.
Not humor, not sarcasm. And you could say that she's just a dunce and just, screwed it up, which is a likely explanation for almost everything she says, right? She's not the brightest bulb. However, this is something that's been repeated by many of the Democratic candidates for president. I know Beto O'Rourke has been on that bandwagon multiple times, and to the point where they actually had to start fact-checking this. They had to go to the actual scientists who did the report they're talking about and say, hey, do you guys think that the world's going to end in 12 years? And they said, no, that's not what we said. And they said basically, like, we're really glad to have a chance to clear this up because, no, we are not saying that the world is going to end in 12 years. The people who wrote the report they're referring to are saying that now. That's how ridiculous this claim is. And again, they are very alarmist on the climate. It's not like these are people who are saying, oh, everything's going to be fine. They're saying there's danger, but what they're saying is these claims are completely ridiculous. So Ocasio-Cortez later on went on to say, this is a technique of the GOP. Try to take dry humor and sarcasm literally and fact check it. Like the world ending in 12 years thing. You'd have to have the social intelligence of a sea sponge to think it's literal. Well, she's going to be very surprised to hear about a recent poll talking about Democrats and whether they believe the U.S. has about 12 years to aggressively fight climate change before the whole world ends. And there would be disastrous and irreparable damage to the country and the world. 67% of Democrats have the social intelligence of a sea sponge, according to Ocasio-Cortez's own definition. 2/3 of Democrats say that, yes, 12 years is how long we have. And, of course, they've said it so many times, it's not surprising that the Democratic voters would believe it. But the idea that it was some joke or some, anything other than a typical Ocasio-Cortez moment, we now know to be ridiculous. And in her attempt to get out of it, she's called 2/3 of her own voters morons or sea sponges, which is a tad problematic, I guess. But also accurate. I feel like this is the one thing, every once in a while we can come across something where Ocasio-Cortez nails it.
We can agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's important to point that out, I think.
And I think people doubt us when we say, hey, if these people we disagree with really strongly say something that we agree with, we'll give them credit.
Yeah.
And we're giving her credit.
Right. Like
she's right.
She is right.
They have the intelligence of a sea sponge.
If you think the world is going to end in 10 years, you have the social intelligence of a sea sponge. And we agree with Ocasio-Cortez on that. I mean, finally, she's nailed something.
Yeah.
And we can sit here and deny just because she's from the other party, because she's from the other side of the aisle. We can say, no, Democratic voters don't have the social intelligence of a sea sponge. But she's accurately described this.
Yeah.
And she's right on it.
Credit where credit is due.
And who are we, just because she has a D after her name, to say that she's wrong, that Democratic voters have more intelligence than a sea sponge? That would be wrong, Pat. We are all about bringing people together. How many times has Glenn talked about this?
Oh, many.
Bringing people together from both sides of the aisle. Here's Ocasio-Cortez outlining in extreme detail, with incredible accuracy, describing the intelligence of a Democratic voter. And she nails it. And what are we going to do? Come in here and say, oh, you know what? We don't like her policies. We disagree. No, we agree with her.
Right. Now, if she'd like to change it and say that those same Democrat voters have all the intelligence of a bathroom bull brush, I'm willing to look into that as well.
Yes. Because you're open. You have an open mind.
Yes. I mean, they did vote for her, many of them. And so we could look into that statement as well if she ever makes it. But for now, it's the sea sponge thing, and we agree.
It's unbelievable. The idea that, there was just another thing that came out the other day. CNN sent out one of their fancy alerts on the phone, and it was like a worst case scenario. Sea levels could rise by blah, blah, blah by the end of the century. Like the typical, thing you've heard 100 times, the claims that everyone's going to die. And at least this time they included worst case scenario around it, because this is what they're always doing. They cite the worst possible thing that can happen. They act as if it's the only thing that can happen, and then complain that we're not taking enough action. Well, you know what? People stop believing you when you say the sky is falling. When it doesn't fall, people are like, well, I don't know. Maybe I don't really believe them. And they're going to try to do the same thing with they had these tornadoes that have hit the Midwest and have been really devastating. Missouri was a big one. Iowa, there was a lot as well. But I mean, again, when you look at the global trends and the U.S. trends for tornadoes, there is a slight decrease over the last 100 years. But they will still watch the news tonight. You will see them blaming these tornadoes on climate change and expecting you to believe it. And I don't know, I just feel like the American people have more intelligence than a sea sponge and can probably pick up the accuracy. But we'll see. We'll see.
You're listening to Glenn Beck.
According to the FBI, the average loss in a burglary is about $2,000. That's pretty hard to recover from. Even so, only 1 in 5 homes have home security. With Simply Safe, there's no contracts, no hidden fees, no fine print, no wires. It's designed to blend right into your home. No drilling, nothing, no strings, no wires. It's easy to order and set up, and you can usually do it in less than an hour. Simply Safe system has won a ton of awards, from CNET to the New York Times Wirecutter. Around-the-clock monitoring is $15 a month. Simply Safe. Doing home security the right way. And Simply Safe has a huge deal going on right now. Go to simplysafebeck.com, get a free HD security camera when you order. That's a $100 value. Get your free HD security camera now by going to simplysafebeck.com and ordering today. That's simplysafebeck.com.
Hello, I'm Mark Sears with Regency Printing. With over 10 years in the printing business, I know you'll find Regency Printing the place for all your local printing needs. Plus, I have fax services, mailbox rentals, notary service, U.S. mail, pack and ship, all at one convenient location, 2375 Northeast 25th Avenue. Just look for the yellow signs. Regency Printing, 789-6683. That's 789-6683. Regency Printing.
Are you a medical provider that doesn't like to settle for the same boring scrubs? Scrub Paradise in Ocala has a wide selection of top brand scrubs with embroidery available and the newest medical shoes and accessories. Every medical provider should look as great as the care they provide. Scrub Paradise is just off Easy Street next to Shoe Carnival in Ocala. Stop by today or give them a call at 352-873-4368. That's 352-873-4368.
Broadcasting from the Paddock Mall Studios, this is WOCA, Ocala, Gainesville, The Villages, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, The Source.
Fox News, I'm Chris Foster. The man known as the American Taliban, John Walker Lind, is now free after serving 17 years of a 20-year sentence in prison in Indiana for fighting with the Taliban in Afghanistan. CIA operative Mike Spann was killed during an uprising of prisoners held with Lind in 2001. Secretary of State and former CIA Director Mike Pompeo tells Fox his release is
unexplainable and unconscionable. Johnny Michael Spann was one of ours. We're now allowing someone who was involved in his death out of jail.
Lind is 38 years old now. His release comes with conditions, including monitoring software on any internet devices. There's severe tornado damage in Jefferson City, Missouri. Mayor Carrie Turgeon tells Fox there are roofs off homes and
extensive damage to the businesses that were within this path, and it was a fairly large path that almost crossed from one end of our city to the other. So quite a bit of damage.
But no deaths reported. At least 3 people were killed in the Golden City, Missouri area. This is Fox News.
You can always count on Miller High Life, the champagne of beers. Always crisp, always easy drinking, always just right. The perfect balance of flavor and refreshment since 1903. Welcome to the High Life. 2019 Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Celebrate responsibly.
Discover's going further with miles rewards than we've ever gone before. Like sun on your face, book in your hand, kids playing in the sand further. Because the Discover It Miles card offers unlimited 1.5 miles on every purchase and will automatically match all the miles you earn at the end of your first year. So your 35,000 miles could become 70,000, plus no blackout dates. Just buy your ticket and use your miles to credit your statement. Get out there with your Discover It Miles card today. Limitations apply. Discover match for new card members only. Learn more at discover.com/travel.
Hi, Matt Wilkerson here, your Verizon representative with news that will hum your car, make it smart and safe. How? With the new Hum device by Verizon. You can rest assured you're never alone. Flat tire? Lost? Accident? For $10 a month, Hum by Verizon has you covered. And I will come to you in Marion County to install the Hum for free. Time to call me at 352-528-0020. Are you ready to hum along? Call 352-528-0020.
AccuSleep offers a safe and effective medical option for those who suffer from sleep disorders of all kinds. AccuSleep makes restoring healthy sleep patterns possible. No medication, no surgery, just good sound sleep. Mend your sleep so you can stop counting sheep. Experience restorative sleep at AccuSleep, the acupuncture sleep clinic in Ocala by calling 352-615-5566.
Here is your 1-minute news brief. Florida's governor is ordering election officials review the cybersecurity of the state's election systems. The request comes more than a week after he was briefed that Russia hackers gained access to voter databases in 2 Florida counties. A baby girl just 5 months old died yesterday after being left in a daycare van in Florida, according to the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office. Serial killer Bobby Joe Long is scheduled to be executed today at Florida State Prison in Stark. Long was found guilty of killing 10 women in the Tampa Bay area in 1984. Emma, a healthy Shih Tzu mix, was euthanized to fulfill her late owner's dying wish that the dog be put down and then laid to rest with her. A man accused of running naked through Daytona International Airport, claiming a bomb was about to go off, entered a plea of no contest. A pilot flying from Canada to Orlando had his eyes burned by a green laser light, and mermaids are returning to Sea Life Orlando Aquarium later this month. And that is your news brief from The Source.
Sunshine Thursday and a few clouds at times with a high at 84 at the coast and 92 inland. Then clear Thursday night with a low in the mid to upper 60s inland, 72 along the coast. Friday, plenty of sunshine with a high of 83 at the coast but 94 inland. For Saturday, plenty of sunshine and hot. The high 86 at the coast, 97 inland. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Joe Lundberg.
I'm Jennifer, the Executive Director of Palm Garden, and May is a big month in our industry. Today, I brought Annette Lotz with me, the Director of Clinical Services.
I'm happy to be here, Jennifer, and in May, we get to celebrate our wonderful nursing staff. They are truly ladies and gentlemen, serving ladies and gentlemen.
Yes, they are, Annette, and we are always looking for more excellent, caring nurses to join our Palm Garden family.
We sure are, but in the meantime,
Happy Nurses Week from Palm Garden.
Pat and Stu for Glenn on the Glenn Beck program, 888-727-BECK. Must be really fun for the president to have to meet on a regular basis with people who absolutely hate his guts, that just hate everything about him. And you have to sit there and attempt to get along with them.
You mean Nancy and Chuck?
Yeah.
Because he always says that he likes Nancy and Chuck, and he kind of gets them, right? Like because they obviously hate his guts, and surely at some level he hates theirs as well. Though he tries to keep a positive face on that relationship at the very least, right? Like he does kind of say, well, I get them. I understand. I've dealt with people like that my whole life. I get who they are, which is just certainly a demeaning way of saying it. And I think he likes that. But also, I think there is something there where he thinks they're so transactional. They're so, they're so transparent when it comes to this stuff that they will trade. They'll do the horse trading of what they want for what the other side wants. They can be theoretical deal makers if you don't mind giving up a couple of $1 trillion. It's just a couple of trillion.
It's just the $2 trillion, though. That's
$2 trillion.
They're not asking for a lot of money.
No,
just $2 trillion. 2 is a really small number. Right. That's really small.
I mean, there's only one or two numbers smaller.
Yeah, right.
And I do like one of the smaller numbers, which is 0 trillion.
That would be nice.
I'm on team 0 trillion.
Yeah, I am too.
But I was devastated yesterday when I heard that they got into a little tiff and we're not going to get our $2 trillion of infrastructure spending.
Well, let's hope that keeps up. They don't find a way to come back together on that because it's bad.
Well, last time they met as friends, it went from 1 trillion to 2 trillion.
Yes.
So I don't want them to be friends.
No.
People are like, I can't believe these people can't work together. Look what happens when they work together.
Only bad things.
An extra $1 trillion. Mm-hmm. Now, look, we do need infrastructure spending, Pat. I was just traveling.
Wait, you traveled?
Yeah, I traveled. It was risky.
Not by air.
Yeah, by air.
Oh, my gosh. You found an airport that wasn't crumbling?
Well, I can't say that, unfortunately. I was at the airport, and like an action-adventure movie, I was running at full sprint as the entire airport was collapsing behind me and just missing the backs of my heels. And I did have to jump over a large chasm where to leap to the other side.
A chasm was there?
A chasm
Did
was
you
there.
shout out across that chasm, I'm Israel?
No. I did not.
You didn't?
I didn't do that.
Okay.
But
was there
I
no
did
time?
survive.
There was no time to shout across the chasm? You just leapt across the chasm.
I did leap across the chasm, and I did turn back just at the moment to see a sad Taco Bell employee sucked into.
No.
Yeah, no, because they lost one. They have one of those airport Taco Bells, and that thing. Now I did save a couple bean burritos, but I was unable to save the human life that went into the chasm. I mean, we act as if we are.
I know, like there's
the
no
Central
bridges,
African
there's no
Republic.
roads, there's no airports.
Yeah, no technology, no bridges, no airports. We're just crumbling everywhere, and it's like. How often do we have? Is there a certain requirement for a human being in their life to have to fall for that? Like, how many times are we?
And we fell for it in 2009.
Yeah,
and spent
$787 billion, which I believe turned into like 840.
Yes,
or afterwards, and then up to maybe $1 billion
or more,
or a trillion. Excuse me.
I think it was over $1 trillion eventually, and. That didn't get us a better infrastructure.
We did get us some shovel-ready jobs.
I saw some signs about it.
Oh, yeah, lots of signs about that particular infrastructure spending. And now here we are, one president later in his first term, and we need another $2 trillion of infrastructure spending?
No.
That is...
I'm going to say no to it.
I got to say no. So I'm glad.
I am
people
too.
are like, I can't believe they can't work together. Good. The last thing we need are people like, Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer to work with. When you work with people like Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer, you wind up on the short end of the stick every time because she's still going to go out and call you Satan in front of every camera. So why meet with her at all?
Right before their meeting, she's talking about this massive cover-up that he's responsible for.
And there's just a part of me, and it's a small part, Pat, that has a little skepticism as to how real these events actually are. Like, does Nancy Pelosi really expect to have a pleasant meeting with Donald Trump when right before she walks into the meeting, she says he's covering up impeachable offense? Like, come on. She's doing this intentionally. She's goading him into a fight, right?
Yes.
She looks like she's weak with her people because she has not endorsed impeachment yet. So she's trying to. Now, this is her effort to appease her base
and look tough.
And I think, honestly, there's a nice chunk of this out of the Trump administration as well, as she says these things in front of the camera. They're supposed to meet up. Then right after that, he walks into the meeting and says, look, you're not going to, tell me that I'm involved in a cover up and then have this nice meeting with me about infrastructure spending. We're not doing both of these things at the same time. Get out. And then he walks out.
Which I like, by the way.
Which I like. And I want him to say that all the time, whether she says things in front of the camera or not, because I don't want to spend another $2 trillion. However, then he walks into the other side of the building and has a press conference all ready to go with a pre-printed sign about what it's about. And somehow they were able to print it. They just predict in advance.
They print signs really quickly at the White House. They've got a really good printing team.
And he's like, look, we're not going to do both of these things. And, these investigations have to stop.
Yeah,
and there's a part of me that thinks that this is just both of them playing to their bases.
Here's what President Trump had to say.
More quiet than I expected.
Well, it turns out I'm the most, and I think most of you would agree to this, I'm the most transparent president probably in the history of this country. We have given, on a witch hunt, on a hoax, the whole thing with Russia was a hoax as it relates to the Trump administration and myself. It was a total horrible thing that happened to our country. It hurt us in so many ways. Despite that, we're setting records with the economy, with jobs, with the most people employed today that we've ever had in the history of our country. We have the best unemployment numbers that we've had in the history of our country. In some cases, 51 years, but generally in the history of our country. Companies are moving back in. Things are going well. And I said, let's have the meeting on infrastructure. We'll get that done easily. That's one of the easy ones. And instead of walking in happily into a meeting, I walk in to look at people that had just said that I was doing a cover-up. I don't do cover-ups.
He doesn't do cover-ups. So,
look,
done.
So he doesn't want to go down this road, which is disappointing because I was on my way to work today.
Oh my gosh! The collapsing bridges. Did you?
I got through the.
You did?
Yeah, I got through the collapsing bridges.
All right.
However, I was driving on the highway and I noticed there's a large silver thing to my right. Realized a train that had come off the track somewhere was just speeding down the highway. That shouldn't happen.
No,
that's why we need these extra.
It's not good
trillion.
for the train, and it's not good for the pavement.
No, it rips up the pavement.
It does.
Seriously,
which is already ripped up.
Yeah,
a lot. You can barely drive on it.
Yeah, it's true, and especially when all the bridges are collapsing around there.
Yeah,
it's a problem.
It's
a problem. Look, I have this weird thing, which is I'm concerned about the $20 to $30 trillion in debt we currently have, and the $100 to $200 trillion of debt that are already scheduled and we have no way of paying for. The idea that we're going to come out and spend an extra $2 trillion. Because afterwards, Chuck and Nancy can have a bipartisan moment. No, thank you. No, thank you.
And we can't even come up with a budget. We haven't come up with a budget in 10 years. There's not been a national budget since 2009. We've got these continuing resolutions that run the country and operate our government. And we can't even so much as sit down and decide what we're going to spend every year and try to spend just what we have. There's no reason to be doing $2 trillion anythings. Really, we can't afford it. We can't afford it. And we're just putting all of this burden onto our children and more likely our grandchildren and great-grandchildren because you can't pay this debt. You can't pay it.
I'm of the opinion, I'm of the four great school of thought, which is anything past great-grandchildren, they got to fend for themselves. I'll care about my children and my grandchildren, my great-grandchildren.
So we're talking third grade?
Well, I think third grade I will care about. When you're at great-grandchildren, look, figure it out. I don't know. You got a long time. Do something for yourself. Yes, am I spending money that probably they won't even pay back? Sure. Yes. But, I mean, how responsible am I supposed to be? By that, how about this? By that time, figure out how to live on another planet and go back to zero on the budget. Okay? Exactly. I don't know. Figure it out. You got a lot of time there. We're talking 4 or 5 generations. You got to show a little ingenuity, And
it's comforting to know that we've actually got people working on that. We actually have people working on living on another planet.
Yeah.
Bezos is very excited about it.
Elon's in there.
Elon's,
right?
Yeah, he's doing
world.
it. Yeah, they're both in that world. Richard Branson's in that world. And NASA is apparently getting into that world. They're talking about putting a permanent base on the moon so that they can eventually go to Mars and beyond and start all of these civilizations on other planets.
Now, would you spend $2 trillion on infrastructure on the moon? And that's a whole nother question. I feel like that's something we could talk about.
I think we could get together on that, maybe.
Because, I mean, if we could all just go, if we had like an Elysium type of situation where at any point we can just kind of escape the Earth, and there's some nice infrastructure up there, maybe a high-speed train or some sort to get around the craters.
Seems like in every movie there's high-speed trains on Mars or the moon or wherever we happen to land.
I love that. They were criticizing Trump. He's like, oh, he really likes infrastructure. Well, what about the California train situation? Are you still pushing for that? Didn't Gavin Newsom cancel it?
Yes. Because it was way over budget. Even Gavin Newsom said no to it.
This train thing drives me crazy. I just don't understand why people are so infatuated with freaking trains. Trains suck. They suck. I had to ride them every single day when we lived in New York. And they blow. They are terrible. They have the situation in California where they were going to spend, it was initially supposed to be like $1.5 billion. And then initially it got up to $100 billion pretty quickly. Now they've basically canceled it. I saw
that's only 100 times more than it started out, though.
Right. That's not that big of a deal. I saw an article from, they're like, I think it was Japan or China. I can't remember. They're going to launch, and they're in the middle of launching like this incredible new bullet train. Like, this bullet train is amazing. You know what the headline said? It approaches the speed of aircraft. You already have aircraft. Use the aircraft. What do you mean it approaches this? What is the benefit of a train that goes slower than planes? Planes don't only have to go between 2 specifically designated areas. This is the great thing about them. Anywhere you put a freaking airport, a plane can land. So if a new population center opens up in the middle of nowhere, you can just change the plane. The same day, you could say, that day, we're now taking this plane over there instead. And it's going to go faster and have less problems than the train.
If it was a lot less expensive than the airfare, you could almost understand it, but it isn't.
It never is.
In some cases, it's more.
Right.
So I got to pay more to get there slower?
Right. And then
I can only go to that one place?
$100 billion to take people from L.A. to Sacramento or San Francisco, whatever it was. And when they have 100 flights going back and forth anyway, and they're already relatively inexpensive, you're not going to save any money going on this train. No. You're just going to get there in 10 times the amount of your life. It's going to cost you 10 times the amount of your life to get there, and they're never going to build the thing anyway. And by the time it's done, it's going to be going to some area where people are no longer living.
I'm guessing you're not going to be doing commercials for Amtrak anytime soon.
No,
right?
I'm not.
That's not happening.
This is the Glenn Beck Program.
AccuSleep offers a safe and effective medical option for those who suffer from sleep disorders of all kinds. AccuSleep makes restoring healthy sleep patterns possible. No medication, no surgery, just good sound sleep. Mend your sleep so you can stop counting sheep. Experience restorative sleep at AccuSleep, the acupuncture sleep clinic in Ocala by calling 352-615-5566.
Here is your 1-minute news brief. Florida's governor is ordering election officials review the cybersecurity of the state's election systems. The request comes more than a week after he was briefed that Russia hackers gained access to voter databases in 2 Florida counties. A baby girl just 5 months old died yesterday after being left in a daycare van in Florida, according to the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office. Serial killer Bobby Joe Long is scheduled to be executed today at Florida State Prison in Stark. Long was found guilty of killing 10 women in the Tampa Tampa Bay area in 1984. Emma, a healthy Shih Tzu mix, was euthanized to fulfill her late owner's dying wish that the dog be put down and then laid to rest with her. A man accused of running naked through Daytona International Airport, claiming a bomb was about to go off, entered a plea of no contest. A pilot flying from Canada to Orlando had his eyes burned by a green laser light, and mermaids are returning to Sea Life Orlando Aquarium later this month. And that is your news brief from The Source.
Sunshine Thursday and a few clouds at times with a high 84 at the coast and 92 inland. Then clear Thursday night with a low in the mid to upper 60s inland, 72 along the coast. Friday, plenty of sunshine with a high of 83 at the coast but 94 inland. For Saturday, plenty of sunshine and hot. The high 86 at the coast, 97 inland. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Joe Lundberg.
Hi, this is JP from Penn Flooring here in Ocala. I would like to invite you to come in and visit our spacious showroom where we have solutions for every style and budget. From wall-to-wall carpet to hardwood floors and tiles, we have an unsurpassed selection of flooring. At Penn Flooring, we've provided quality customer service with a family touch for over 25 years. Visit our website at pennflooring.com or come by our showroom, 1201 Southwest 17th Street, just over the bridge. Penn Flooring, quality customer service with a family touch.
Hey folks, it's time to celebrate Memorial Day, and a great way to do just that is to plant a tree. That means a trip this week to Bob Wine's Camellia Gardens in Ocala, where you can buy one large quality tree for as little as $49.99 and get a second one just like it for half price. This half price sale applies to every tree, large or small, in Bob's huge inventory. While you're there, check out a few of Bob's super specials, like those famous dwarf, ever-blooming, red ruffled azaleas, still just $3.99. Crepe myrtles, all sizes, large or small, starting as low as $9.99. And it's a BOGO, buy one, get one free. Some of your favorite summer annuals, priced as low as 49 cents each. Plus a long list of flowering vines, buy one, get one at half price. Store hours 9 to 4:30 Monday through Friday, until 3 on Saturday. It's Bob Wine's Camellia Garden, Southeast 38th Street, Ocala, in the same blooming place since 1952.
PPIR is a networking group formed to serve the realtor and small business community. It primarily serves the real estate and construction industry, but is open to all businesses that provide any service or product to the real estate business community. PPIR has no membership dues or fees for attendees. The watchwords are keep it simple and maximize networking time. PPIR chapters meet 3 times monthly at different locations after normal business hours. For information on this, call 352-615-9412 or go to events at ppirevents.com. PPIR, professional people in real estate.
Hello, I'm Mark Sears with Regency Printing. With over 10 years in the printing business, I know you'll find Regency Printing the place for all your local printing needs. Plus, I have fax services, mailbox rentals, notary service, U.S. mail, pack and ship, all at one convenient location, 2375 Northeast 25th Avenue. Just look for the yellow signs. Regency Printing, 789-6683. That's 789-6683. Regency Printing.
Are you a medical provider that doesn't like to settle for the same boring scrubs? Scrub Paradise in Ocala has a wide selection of top brand scrubs with embroidery available and the newest medical shoes and accessories. Every medical provider should look as great as the care they provide. Scrub Paradise is just off Easy Street next to Shoe Carnival in Ocala. Stop by today or give them a call at 352-873-4368. That's 352-873-4368.
It's Pat and Stu for Glenn on the Glenn Beck program. 888-727-BECK. A little discrepancy in how much of the border wall has been built. Now, yesterday we had a story that there were 1.7 miles built. 1.7. So we're almost there.
How long is the border? Is it, 2 miles? I think it's 2.5, maybe 2.5.
Just a little bit longer than that.
Okay.
It's like 2,000 miles.
Okay. There's a 2 in it, though.
There is a 2 in it.
Mm-hmm.
So you're pretty close. Mm-hmm. So the White House yesterday said, and Sarah Sanders said that was not accurate. And then the figure 20 miles came up.
Okay.
And then Sarah Sanders said none of those were accurate. It's 100 miles. And they're still on track for 500 by the end of the year. If that's true, that's not bad. I mean, that's if they can do 500 miles this year of new border wall, I think that'd be okay. I mean, that's a good start.
Yeah, I'm going to need an audit on that.
Yeah,
because
I'd like to see it.
We have heard a lot of claims, and the administration has done this several times, in which they've said repairing existing fence.
That doesn't count.
New fence.
No, that me that doesn't count. No,
that's not what
the
we're
campaign promise wasn't. I'm going to repair the fence that's already there. It was, we're going to build a wall.
And look, he can't do. I mean, he can't do it by himself.
And right, and the Democrats are kicking and screaming and fighting him every step of the way.
Yeah.
And I guess so far they've compiled all together about $6 billion for this, and that'll pay for supposedly 400 or 500 miles. So if they can do that, I'd be pretty happy with that as a good start.
Yeah, I'm not. We've talked about this before. I'm not thrilled with the whole emergency thing. So
no,
I'm
not either.
Funding. So, and I know you're not. But most people aren't. But I mean, it is a huge concern as far as what's going on the border, and addressing it is important. And obviously, you're not going to get anything out of Chuck and Nancy. That would be an easy one, right? Like, it's infrastructure. This is a legitimate piece of our infrastructure that is crumbling.
Right.
Where they could go in and spend some money to protect the borders, and they don't want to do that. They don't want to do that. They just want to make our airports have Wi-Fi. And it's like, it's hard to take it seriously.
Yeah. What should be the priority? I don't know. Let's stop the flow of drugs and illegals.
You're listening to Glenn Beck.
Do you know which group is America's premier organization to organize and train future conservative leaders? The Leadership Institute. The Leadership Institute gives conservative young people the practical political skills to fight and win for your conservative principles. But too many young people abandon their upbringing and their conservative principles when they're in college. It's no wonder conservative students suffer indoctrination, intimidation, and even physical attack on campus. This must change. Conservative students need to know you have their back. With the Leadership Institute, they can organize young conservatives into student groups with strength in numbers. The Leadership Institute has organized more than 2,100 active conservative student groups, but 1,600 colleges have little or no organized conservative presence at all. Take back America's college campuses. Go to takebackthecampus.org to learn how you can help young conservatives, and donate to the Leadership Institute to organize a conservative group on every single college campus. When you donate at takebackthecampus.org, you will train tomorrow's conservative leaders. When you donate at takebackthecampus.org, you'll help young conservatives stand up to radical leftist agitators. When you donate to the Leadership Institute, your gift will train students to make a real difference. What kind of difference? Leadership Institute graduates include 28 current members of Congress, including Jim Jordan and Dan Crenshaw, and even hard-hitting commentators like Ann Coulter. It's time to fight back. A new crop of conservative leaders needs your help through Leadership Institute training. Your gift will help young conservatives take back college campuses before leftists snuff out the American dream. Visit takebackthecampus.org and make a donation towards our great country's conservative future. Donate now at takebackthecampus.org. That website again is takebackthecampus.org.
Broadcasting from the Paddock Mall Studios, this is WOCA, Ocala, Gainesville, The Villages, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, The Source.
Are you a medical provider that doesn't like to settle for the same boring scrubs? Scrub Paradise in Ocala has a wide selection of top brand scrubs with embroidery available and the newest medical shoes and accessories. Every medical provider should look as great as the care they provide. Scrub Paradise is just off Easy Street next to Shoe Carnival in Ocala. Stop by today or give them a call at 352-873-4368. That's 352-873-4368.
I'm Jennifer, the Executive Director of Palm Garden, and May is a big month in our industry. Today, I brought Annette Lotz with me, the Director of Clinical Services.
I'm happy to be here, Jennifer, and in May, we get to celebrate our wonderful nursing staff. They are truly ladies and gentlemen, serving ladies and gentlemen.
Yes, they are, Annette, and we are always looking for more excellent, caring nurses to join our Palm Garden family.
We sure are, but in the meantime,
Happy Nurses Week from Palm Garden.
Fox News, I'm Chris Foster. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi says President Trump wants to be impeached by the House so Senate Republicans can then clear him once and for all.
The House Democratic Caucus is not on a path to impeachment, and that's where he wants us to be.
White House counsel Kellyanne Conway tells Fox the president's right. He can't work with Democrats investigating him at the same time.
He made very clear that their two-track strategy is nonsense. They can choose whether they want to investigate or legislate, and what's more important to them.
Fox confirms, meantime, Wells Fargo and TD Bank have already provided a House committee with financial records of transactions with the Trump Organization. Missouri Governor Mike Parsons says the death of 3 people in homes hit by tornadoes is unfortunate.
In Jefferson City, the damage that was done there, and to come out of that with no serious injuries, we're very thankful for that.
He says a lot of people lost their homes and others' power will be out for quite some time. This is Fox News.
You can always count on Miller High Life, the champagne of beers. Always crisp, always easy drinking, always just right. The perfect balance of flavor and refreshment since 1903. Welcome to the High Life. 2019 Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Celebrate responsibly.
Discover's going further with miles rewards than we've ever gone before. Like sun on your face, book in your hand, kids playing in the sand further. Because the Discover It Miles card offers unlimited 1.5 miles on every purchase and will automatically match all the miles you earn at the end of your first year. So your 35,000 miles could become 70,000. Plus no blackout dates. Just buy your ticket and use your miles to credit your statement. Get out there with your Discover It Miles card today. Limitations apply. Discover match for new card members only. Learn more at discover.com/travel.
Career Source, Citrus, Levy, Marion brings together business and community partners, economic development leaders, and educational providers to connect employers with qualified, skilled talent and job seekers with employment and career development opportunities. Tune in the third Wednesday of each month at 9:30 a.m. to Career Source, Citrus, Levy, Marion, and learn how they can help you.
The College of Central Florida is committed to being your first choice for quality higher education. CF has locations in Marion, Citrus, and Levy counties and offers more than 60 academic programs. Earn a certificate, associate, or bachelor's degree. With Florida's 2+2 program, a student can complete an associate in arts at CF and be guaranteed admission to a state of Florida university. CF is ranked number 13 in the U.S. for affordability, is military friendly, and offers a full student life experience. Make CF your first choice. Call 352-873-5800.
Hi, I'm Brian, and I'm a comfort keeper. I spend a few hours each week caring for seniors in their homes to lend a hand or just be there when they need me.
Being a comfort keeper is a rewarding and fulfilling career. Comfort keepers provide non-medical in-home care and companionship for seniors on a full or part-time basis.
Call 855-592-0013 to learn how to apply to the Comfort Keepers team.
Do something good for your career and for others. Be a comfort keeper. Comfort Keepers offices are independently owned and operated.
Howdy, folks. RL here for Dairy Queen Silver Springs. We want to thank Marion County for 45 years of loyalty. We love this wonderful community, so come on down to Dairy Queen Silver Springs and get some of our great food and ice cream. We have a number of great meal deals that include dessert at a better price than anyone in the industry. Our products are made fresh to order, just for you. Dairy Queen Silver Springs, where we always treat you like kings and queens.
Hi, this is Will.
And this is Wendy of Dex Imaging in Gainesville and Ocala. You know, we live and work in this community just like you, and we wanted to personally invite you to call us with any questions or concerns about your copiers or printers.
Like, how can I save money on my toner? That stuff's expensive.
In most cases, a complimentary workflow analysis has shown we can save your business 20 to 30% on printing cost.
Have you been kicking around the idea of going paperless? Are you considering a document management solution? Maybe you just want to ask some questions, but don't want to be be bombarded by aggressive salespeople.
Give us a call. We'll be happy to answer your questions and show you how you can save money with our award-winning copiers and printers and our amazing service team.
Who, in case you didn't know, will be there in 4 hours or less to service your machine guaranteed. And we have a 97% first-time fix rate. Check us out at deximaging.com or give us a call.
In Ocala, dial 352-433-4090. That's 433-4090.
Freddy's Specialty Sundays. Classic American treats. Made with freshly churned, rich and creamy frozen custard. Welcome to Freddy's Frozen Custard and Steak Burgers. The taste that brings you back.
So now that you have your heart set on Freddy's, all you need to know is how to get there. That part is easy. Just go down Highway 200 in Ocala east of I-75. Then look for the giant frozen custard cone on the wall.
Gene Powell Pasture Mowing, 352-629-2440. In addition to our pasture mowing and tractor services, we also offer fence row spraying, stump grinding, and now rototilling. Now is the perfect time to get ready for spring. We have family owned and operated, licensed and insured, and farm ready. Howell Gene, Gene at yahoo.com. 352-629-2440. Gene Powell Pasture Mowing, 352-629-2440. Gene is a proud United States veteran.
Of entertainment and enlightenment. This is the Glenn Beck Program.
With Pat and Stu for Glenn. By the way, you can catch my show, Pat Gray Unleashed, weekday mornings right before Glenn, right here on The Blaze. And you can actually listen to it anytime you want on the podcast. They're available wherever you can get podcasts. 888-727-BECK. Our taxpayer dollars are being well spent. I think you'll agree. When we funnel them into the National Public Radio, NPR. I love the new guidelines that were published by NPR on how we can properly use phrases while reporting on the abortion debate.
I am fascinated by this, and there's a central sort of thing going on where I've never noticed this before, and here it is happening. Listen to this. This is from the New York Times, and I've mentioned this on previous broadcasts. The fetal heartbeat. It is now a thing that is no longer a thing. There's this argument that when does life start? I don't know. When does it start? Well, okay, it starts when the baby's born, or it starts at conception, or it starts at viability.
I think
it starts at cognitive ability.
32. I think you're really alive.
Or if it's 32 years
when
old.
You're 32.
When you're 32. Well, you can't be president yet. So 35. Let's call it 35.
Yes.
35 years old is when life begins. And there's been this debate that goes on for a long time. And some people say it's, when the heart starts beating. It's a pretty logical one, right?
Yeah.
We know when the heart stops beating, it's generally when we say there's no more life, right? So to say, it's not the most insane pro-choice argument to say until the heart is beating, it's not an abortion, right? It's not my position, but it's not the most extreme pro-choice argument to say that.
Yeah, I think we both agree life begins at conception.
Yes. However,
right?
If you were to say, okay, well, you know what, you got the first 6 weeks until the heartbeat comes out, certainly that would cut down our abortions dramatically.
Yeah.
It's what Alabama's basically trying to do. But there's an indication of life when you have a heartbeat. Well, the heartbeat, and that line has been part of the conversation for a long time. When does life begin? Now we've come to a point where the heartbeat may not actually be a heartbeat.
Well,
and this is fascinating.
They can't give that ground, because if it's a heartbeat, clearly that's life. You've got a heart, it's beating, you're alive.
And that's certainly the strategy of people who are pro-life, right?
Yes.
Hey, recognize there's a life thing going on.
But it's
here,
also
guys.
science.
Yeah.
It's also biology. It's also reality.
Exactly. So listen to this, and we found this multiple times, and we've been hitting it over the past few weeks, and I had never noticed it before the past couple of weeks. The new laws that prohibit abortion as early as the 6th week of pregnancy have been called, quote, heartbeat, end quote, legislation by supporters. Now, there you could say maybe they're just referring to the name of the bill. That's why they put it in quotes. Now, I've seen in several previous articles that we've brought up on the program and on the News and Why It Matters and other shows that it's not just when they're referring to the name of the legislation. They're saying like it's a reference to the fetal, quote unquote, heartbeat. And it's like, what else is it? Like, what are you saying it is? The New York Times has attempted the explanation here today. And I think you're going to appreciate this.
All right.
It's a quote unquote heartbeat, a reference to the flickering pulse that can be seen on ultrasound images of a developing embryo.
Oh, the flickering pulse.
The flickering pulse.
Okay.
Now, my thought was, do you think it's a strobe light?
So it's
what is it exactly?
It's like E.T.'s heart light.
Right. It could be that.
Turn on your heart light.
It could be one of those lights that when you're in a boat and if you put it in water, it starts flashing like, to get people's attention, like one of those marine strobe lights. Could be that. It could be a rave going on inside the womb. Oh, perhaps there's a party and there are glow sticks and there's flashing lights from a club. It's not a flickering pulse. It is a heartbeat. This is not something that was. Again, we're told we're the ones that are anti-science, and they're telling us a heartbeat is a flickering pulse. What the hell is a flickering pulse? It's not a flickering pulse. It is the beat of a heart as it's developing. And we've seen this now in utterly amazing form when the abortion procedures and terminology and rights are discussed by NPR that you brought up. I am blown away reading this. Again, there are certain levels of denial we can get into. Right, you can get like when you're watching a movie with a crazy plot, you have to go into that. You have to like take that break from reality, and you have to kind of accept. Well, yeah, some people can fly, some people can shoot lasers out of their eyes. Sometimes there are giant monsters going out of the sea, and obviously, I know Godzilla is real, but I'm saying generally speaking, these things aren't real. And there's that suspension of disbelief that you have to have. Reading this NPR guideline, I'm almost to the Godzilla level with it. It's so unbelievable. We'll give you the details of it in 60 seconds.
This is the Glenn Beck Program.
Guys, you know that new Untuck It shirt you've been eyeing? Well, you can save 25% on everything in stores and online with Untuck It's annual Memorial Day sale going on now. Every Untuck It shirt has that just right length and comes in tons of fit combinations. So tall, short, slim, and bigger guys of all ages can look great. Just visit untuckit.com or any of Untuckit's 60-plus stores this weekend to save 25%. Untuck It. Shirts designed to be worn untucked.
Have you heard about Newsmax TV? It's America's fastest growing cable news channel in 70 million homes. Every minute, every day, watch Newsmax for breaking news on President Trump. Plus, get insights from Bill O'Reilly, Alan Dershowitz, Pat Buchanan, Mike Reagan, and more. You can find Newsmax TV on DirecTV, Xfinity, Dish, Optimum, Spectrum, Fios, Uverse, Suddenlink, WOW, and dozens of cable systems. So check your guide now and watch Newsmax TV. Real news for real people.
Pat and Stu for Glenn on the Glenn Beck Program. So NPR has some new guidelines for what their hosts call certain abortion terms.
Now, this is what they say. They say one thing to keep in mind about this law and others like it. Proponents refer to it as a, quote, fetal heartbeat law. That is their term. It needs to be attributed to them if used and put in quotation marks if printed. So this is actually sort of explaining this confusion I've had. They're just, because the heartbeat is part of the name of the bill, they're acting as if it's a concept not understood by science. Like it's a heartbeat. Well, that's what they're calling it. But I mean, they're calling it that because it's accurate, right?
Yeah,
they're not calling it. I mean, yes, it does make a powerful point about life. It does. And it is a reason, and part of the reason they're doing it is to convince people, hey, this thing that you think you're quote unquote aborting is just life that you're ending. You know, I mean, that is part of the reason they're targeting the heartbeat. But it's like it's in a way a moment of coming together. I mean, I want zero abortions, zero. Okay, I don't want it to be legal. When they say, hey, what this new law you're passing is just a Trojan horse for getting rid of abortion. It's not a Trojan horse. I'm telling you, it's right.